Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today in this video, I wanted to do a get ready with me for this look. It's not a tutorial. I'm not really that great at makeup and I do the same routine every single time, so it's nothing special. I'm getting ready for a date that I have in like an hour. So I was just gonna get ready and kind of talk about dating in Chicago and what that is like. Let's get into it. I have some juicy info and tips and tricks, and hopefully this will help you and your dating journey. It's an experience, okay? Let's get into it. I actually have a list of things that I want to talk about because I don't know how these influencers do it, where they're doing their makeup and they're talking and saying all the important topics at once. Like, my brain cannot handle that. So I wrote it all down so I make sure to give you guys some practical knowledge and I'm not just like rambling. And I wanted to talk about the topic of dating in Chicago, like things that I've noticed, tips about the apps, tips about where like different kinds of men are in the city. So I thought this might be helpful for someone who's also in the dating scene trying to figure it out. First off, I'm gonna say this is what I'm working with. So this is my experience. I attract a certain kind of person, maybe. So as a 26-year-old Black woman in Chicago, these are just my observations. I'm sure you might have a different experience. This is all just a fun, light, okay? Don't take it too serious. Life isn't that serious. What is serious is maybe having a partner or a significant other, right? As you're getting older in your 20s, you start realizing, wow, like you gotta think about these things, marriage, kids. All your friends around you are getting married, they're getting engaged, they're having a baby shower. Like, these are the kind of things that start popping up. If you're wanting more of a hookup thing, this probably isn't, I'm probably not gonna help you too much. Maybe I will. Also, I'm gonna be looking over here, that's where my mirror is, but I'll try to keep the eye contact. So to start off, let's talk about the dating apps themselves, okay? Because there's a lot out there, but at the same time, I only feel like there's a handful of good ones. And of course, you wanna be where a lot of people are. You don't wanna be on an island and miss out on all the possibilities, okay? So some of the popular ones, of course, you probably know about Tinder. I'll say with Tinder, that's such a hookup app. Like, I don't think people really go on there with the intention of having a more serious relationship. So keep that in mind. If you just want to hook up, go there. So my favorites are actually Bumble and Hinge. I'll say for Bumble, I think with that app, like there's a lot of options and it's easy to swipe through them all very quickly. So if you want to just sweep through the market and see who's out there, that's a really good one. It is a timed based thing, so you have an expiration date, which is kind of annoying to me because if someone doesn't see it in 24 hours, then it kind of cuts off. But at the same time, that kind of keeps it fresh, because if someone's not interested, they're not interested. So at least you know that they're not trying to meet up or anything. They also recently switched it so girls actually don't have to message first, which I like more. That's just not how I like dating. Personally, don't get me wrong, if I match with someone, I do comment or I'll say something first. I don't mind doing that. But naturally, I think the guys should chase a little bit. And there's a lot of cute prompts and things to get the conversation going. Something that I dislike about Bumble is how addy it is. I feel like there's constant notifications. It's constantly trying to sell you some of the packages or the premium and things like that. And personally, the UI for me, like the design of the app, is just kind of chaotic and annoying, which is why I prefer to use Hinge. I think that is the better one of the two, because it feels like the people who are on there are actually trying to match with someone that they want to meet up with. Like, it's not just swiping as a game because it's fun, you know, like a pastime. I found more genuine connections on there and more people that I actually want to talk to and meet up with.
So the worst ones. Don't be on Tinder, girl. That's for 25 and younger. And if you want to hook up, you want to be objectified, go on Tinder. But many of you don't want that. eHarmony, don't do it. It is racism clothed in a crucifix, girl. Don't do it. Plenty of Fish, that is for the catfish of the world, literally and figuratively, the bottom feeders, as well as they will catfish you on there. What else? Raya and the League, super elitist, super racist. They're not checking for you if you're a black girl. No shade. What else? I'm trying to Facebook dating. Don't do that. The men on Facebook dating are not intentional. They're not really looking to date.
Real quickly, some tips on these dating apps, like red flags that I've noticed too. Have some cute photos of yourself. Like, be out in your lifestyle. What do you like to do on the weekends for fun? If it's reading, if it's golf, if it's I don't know, like being with your friends, like less mirror selfies. Like, if the mirror selfie is like you're really feeling yourself, like go for it, but all of your photos should not be mirror selfies, and it should not all just be gym photos, okay? Because I see way too much of that, of just like guys who are flashing cash like this in a mirror, or they're just trying to show off all of their muscles, so like all of their photos are just muscles. Like, for me, that's a left swipe immediately. Like, that's just not my vibe. And maybe that's your thing, but just be cautious of what you put out there. Like, if you're drinking in every single one of your photos and it looks like you just go out all the time, that might turn some people off. Like, be diverse and use the prompts. Tell about yourself. Ask some interesting questions to start conversation. Like, don't feel so limited. Or the more specific you are, I feel like you can connect with someone who's more on your level and likes things that you like. Also, I've been noticing a red flag with people where they're just so negative in their own profile. Like, I've seen some that like demean women, or are straight up just like talking about like sexual stuff right off the bat, right in the app. Like, they don't care. And I mean, that's telling. At least they're honest to what they're looking for. Okay? So that's their lifestyle. Or I've seen some that are like so negative about themselves, like putting themselves down. I've also noticed, if you're looking for more maturity, definitely dating older. Like, don't be afraid to put your range like 10 years older, because you'll meet some people who might be looking for more serious things that you're looking for. I'll be honest, I've dated someone who was 15 years older than me, and even then, with age, there might not be the maturity level that you're thinking, but the odds are more high. I also think, like, especially living in the city, there's so many people, it's dense here in Chicago, so I wouldn't even put your location further than like 3-5 miles, if I'm being real, because especially when it gets cold, you don't want to be traveling super far to meet up with somebody, because you probably just aren't going to go. And I'm like, how long is this relationship going to last if you have to travel so far? You know, like, especially if they're in the suburbs, if they're an hour, 2 hours away from here, be cautious. I don't think that's going to work out too well. And of course, meet in public for the first date. Bring some pepper spray, maybe. I always keep a pepper spray in my bag. But let me get it. I keep my pepper spray, has a little keychain, and it's bedazzled. Fun, just in case. Use public transportation to get to the place for a date, and then Uber or Lyft back home, because if it's night, if it's dark, you never know, okay? Just safety first. So pepper spray, especially on these CTA trains. You go too far down the red line and you might need it. So I wonder what you guys think about this, but like having your Instagram name in your profile, like, is that a yay or a nay? Like, well, I feel like it's almost like clout chasing to have it in there. Like, do you want me to follow you? Are you trying to promote yourself? Like, what is this? Like, actually, my sister, I'm gonna tell on her a little bit. I don't know, she's probably never gonna see this, but she got like 2 different accounts taken down because she put her Instagram in there and people thought that she was some bot or something, and they kept flagging her, so they removed her account because they thought it was fraud. That happens, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Write it down below, like Instagram and bio. Also enjoy on Bumble how it has like a music feature so you can see what people listen to on Spotify. I love that. I'm a big music person, and I feel like someone's music taste, especially if they match with mine, because mine can be kind of random, and if they have things in common, like, that's a big sign for me. I think the music people listen to also equate to who they are and their lifestyle a little bit. I don't judge too much on what you listen to, but to have something in common like that, that's a plus, okay? So Bumble's great for that. Let's talk a little bit about meeting people in person, because I know more and more people are using these dating apps, but it's still possible to meet people in real life as you're out and about. I've done it before. My last relationship I met in person, and it's still out there, okay? So if you're trying to meet someone in that fashion, definitely just think about the location that you're going to meet them. I've noticed, like, if you meet someone at a bar, they might go to that bar a lot. So if that's not the lifestyle that you want, to drink a lot or be more of a heavy drinker, you might want to avoid meeting someone there, because it could lead to someone being an alcoholic, or, you know, just not what you're looking for. Like, it could be really beneficial to go to like a club that you like, or maybe it's a sport. Something that a couple of my friends do is actually run club. That's been a really popular way that people are meeting up. Afterwards, they usually go to a bar and have a drink. So I don't know, that could be a way to meet your partner or someone you like. The thing that I've noticed with dating is you just have to be intentional. I kind of hate the idea of like, you'll meet your person when you least expect it. And that is true, that happens a lot. But sometimes, like, if you're really trying to date seriously, like, take the initiative to go out in the world and put yourself in those positions and be open to accepting love or a new experience or a new conversation, and go out there, make eye contact, wear something cute, maybe bring a book to like a nice lounge or like a bookshop or a coffee shop, you know, and just keep your eyes out, okay? I do want to point out too, I've noticed in Chicago there isn't a crazy amount of catcalling. Just to put that out there, I have experienced some catcalling. Like, usually it's just some guy in a car who's like, you should smile more, honey. Like, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get to the grocery store. I don't need to be smiling every moment of my life. The whole catcalling thing is strange. It can happen in Chicago, so just keep your eyes peeled. You know, as a girl, all my girls watching, it happens, and you just gotta keep walking. And as a guy, if you're watching, like, it's totally fine to go up and talk to a girl or start a conversation or things like that, but like, don't yell across a room or across the street at somebody. Like, that's disrespectful, it's awkward, it makes the person feel like belittled and kind of like, scared of you. I also wanted to bring up like interracial dating, interracial couples. It is around Chicago, and I recently got a DM from a couple who is moving to Chicago soon, and I don't want to put all their information out there, but they were just asking about what interracial dating is like in the city. I will say I see interracial couples around. Like, it's not anything that's jarring. Because Chicago's in Illinois, it's a very blue state, very liberal, so there isn't a lot of issues that I've experienced or seen of interracial couples. I've dated interracially, and I would recommend, like, don't be opposed to dating around. There's so many different cultures in Chicago. Like, it's a very diverse city of Asians, Black, white, Hispanic, all these different categories. So you never know, your love could be anybody. If you're an interracial couple or trying to date interracially, there's nothing to fear, it happens. Also, if you're LGBTQ+, that is very common here in Chicago too. There's actually a very specific neighborhood called Boys Town here in Chicago. But Boys Town is actually embedded in Lakeview, which is the bigger neighborhood. It's along the street of Halsted, and actually they changed the name recently to North Halsted, so I guess to be more inclusive. Love that. But yeah, if you're gay, if you're lesbian, So if you're in the LGBTQ plus community, go to Boys Town. There's a ton of bars. You'll fit right in. There's drag queens walking the street and there's rainbows everywhere. It's great. Okay, so I wanted to actually go through and say some of the things that I've noticed about certain guys in each area of Chicago. And I just want to say, like, my opinions on this is just some of the things that I've experienced. Like, of course, this isn't everybody, what I say, but I've noticed these things. I've noticed these things from certain areas of the guys that I've talked to or I've been on a date on. I'm gonna get kind of specific, but I kind of think it's true, like, because I think whoever you are, like even myself, like you're driven to a certain area of the city because each area is so different and you get something different out of each one. Because I need to also make like an updated neighborhood video on my channel because the other one I made is kind of cringe, like it's pretty bad. But I have some like new insight that I think would help a lot of people because I've been getting a lot of questions on the channel about different neighborhoods. Yeah, let's talk about it a little bit. So first, let's talk about like South Side, like South Loop, boys in the South, because I've noticed a couple things. They often are like gym buffs or foodies. They also, I've noticed they dress a little bit better. Like I feel like they have like an aesthetic to them. They could also be like more artsy. Because of course it's a more diverse group. Like Southside Chicago has a lot more Black Hispanic culture. Yeah, and I've also noticed like if they are into sports, it's usually football or like the Sox because the Sox stadium is South Chicago. So next I want to talk about the west side of Chicago. I've noticed a couple of things. So of course the population over there is like more Hispanic. There is white, there's Black over there too. Just from my experience, I've noticed that they're more like creative, like in the way that they might be into film and movies, or they're some kind of artist, or they're in a band or a musician kind of thing. Like it just seems like more creative, fun people over there. And I've lived in Wicker Park for a little bit, and I've also noticed like it's just like a cool scene. There's a lot of like murals and like places and bars over there that are really fun. So that kind of makes sense for what it is. And it's also cheaper. So I think it's like a more affordable neighborhoody feel. So it feels more cozy over there. So that probably makes sense of why it attracts that kind of person. Something I have noticed that's a little strange is I've seen a lot more like sexually fluid people over there. Don't get me wrong, okay? Like hear me out. I've seen on dating apps like if they live Logan Square, Wicker Park, even like Andersonville a little bit, like they're poly or they're like in a relationship and looking for a third, or like they're like I've just seen that a lot, and it's usually over there. Don't know why. Maybe that's just what I've experienced, but that's just what I've seen. So then let's talk about the north side. So guys who are on the north side of Chicago, I've noticed with them they're like they may be a little bit more of a fratty kind of guy, more into sports. They kind of like improv, they like comedy, they may also be like a film nerd. They really like Frank Ocean or Kanye or like the old Adam Sandler movies. And this is very specific, but this neighborhood is more white in its demographic. So like Swiftie fans are up here. There is other ranges of people here too, of course, but just generally speaking, I've noticed a lot of that energy up here. They might be a big Cubs fan because the Wrigley Stadium is in Lakeview, so that might be their fandom. But even if you go like further north to like Edgewater, I think those guys are more chill. They might be in school, going to one of the colleges up there. It's a more affordable area too. It's less chaotic. They might be just like a chiller kind of vibe and not as fratty as what like Lincoln Park may get you. And then for like some of the downtown guys near the Loop, like again, it's the lifestyle I've noticed. They usually work more corporate jobs like finance or an engineer or something like that. I've seen a lot of foodies too, like they like to eat out. There's a lot of really cool restaurants and nightlife scenes down there too. So they might go out a lot. They kind of like depending on the person. Everyone is different. And I'm making this video just to say that dating in Chicago is decent, you know? Like, it is what you put into it. You gotta treat it like a sport if you wanna take it seriously. In the way that you put all the time into your work or giving time to your friends, like dedicate time to actually get to know you, get to know what you want, put yourself out there authentically, and just be genuine. And you'll be surprised who you find. It may feel overwhelming too. I've noticed if you're using dating apps especially, it can feel overwhelming, maybe on the side of the woman, like messaging, keeping up, and trying to sort through that. It kind of can be a lot, but it's worth it if you want to put the time in to take that chance, right? Good luck out there with dating. You know, put yourself out there and have a good time. Don't take everything too seriously in the beginning stages. So good thing I'm actually not running late. I am on time. I think I'm pretty much finished with my makeup. I think I'm gonna put on a couple of accessories and jewelry. I might change my outfit. I'm not sure. It's so hard to figure out what to wear when it's like really cold like this. So wish me luck. Oh, shit. Thanks for watching. If you have any additions or comments to what I said, go ahead and write it down below. Like and subscribe, it means a lot. And good luck out there in the dating world. I'll see you next time. Bye.